Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining me once again for Get Your Money Right with Yvonne. I'm Yvonne. How's it going? For those of you joining us to find out more about retirement savings, you are indeed in the correct place. Thanks for joining us. We are a very supportive community, and we'll talk more about things later. You just enjoy this episode, see what you think, and we'll take it from there, okay? So I want to start this the way I always do by me asking you, how are you doing? How are you faring? How is it going? Because I know it's challenging for all of us. We don't have the exact same struggles. I get that. But we are in this together, and maybe you've experienced something that we haven't, and vice versa. It's just a place to exchange thoughts and ideas. And I just always want to ask those questions. How are you doing? How are you faring? How's it going? Because we oftentimes forget to do that. And just know I'm thinking of you. Our community is thinking of you, and just wishing you the best, and just want you to know that, okay? So how am I doing? Basically fine. Bills are getting paid. Money is being put away to take care of the things that I need to take care of. But I have to tell you, and I don't know how you're feeling about the war with Iran. It frightens me. First of all, there is a saying. It's over 100 years old, and it's attributed, I can't remember which president offhand, but he said something along the lines of, old men start wars, young men fight and die in those wars, and men and women. So our young people, it just worries me for them, right? And wow, I the other thing that I've been hearing, and I don't know if it's just being tossed around a little bit, what the thought process is, I don't know. But talking about bringing back the draft, that has not been around since the Vietnam War, and that was the 1970s. And all of it, it just worries me that why are we gearing up to send more people into battle? And those are my fears. I don't know everything that's behind the decision making. It just, all of it scares me, and I'm just throwing it out there because, like I said, this is a supportive community, and just kind of worried. Those are the things that I've been thinking of. So anyway, those of you who've been with me for a while know that I like to read money management stories. Most of them don't apply to me because it would appear most of these, I don't know, these money managers are really looking at people with net worths over $500,000. And so much of what they have to say speaks to that group of people. So it's never really applied to me. I read them and try to pick things out of it that I find useful. And that's really all I can do. So I do these just to kind of talk to us middle income people. Generally, we make less than $100,000 a year, although there are exceptions. Just know if you make a little more or whatever, we still want you in this community. Join us because there's something to be learned for all of us, right? So reading those and looking at them, which is always a good thing because, like I say, I always learn something. But there was a question that came up in one of those articles. It was just like, yes. The person asked, what is the 4% rule? Have you heard of it? And, it took me a little bit to get it. But like I said, because I'm looking at all these different sources of information, I was able to see it, understand it, and now kind of incorporating it into my plan for when I'm ready to retire. So what I did was I put some things down just to make it simple for us. Hold on a second. All right. Now, I'm hoping that you can see this. And I know you will let me know if you can't, because you guys are really good at that. I just want to make sure that it's readable on your end, that it isn't backwards. And if it is, I'll do it again for you. But in any case, the 4% rule made simple. So let's just say, for argument's sake, you have $350,000 saved for retirement, which, by the way, that is a great sum. Pat yourself on the back on that. So, what is the rate of return you're currently earning on your savings? And I know I've said in some earlier editions that my average, what I'd earn is like 9%. Now that goes up and down, obviously, and I've taken just a bit of a hit with the drop in the stock market, but it's still pretty good and I can still hit these particular numbers. So let's just say it's 5%, all right? So that $350,000 times 5% equals $17,500. Okay, that's what you would be earning in interest on your money. The 4% rule states that you take 4% withdrawal each year. So let's say that same $350,000 is available at retirement. At 4%, that amount would be $14,000 a year. So you take that $14,000 a year, divide it by 12 months for the 12 months in the year, and you would be collecting $1,166 per month. Okay? And understand this, what it's saying is your annual withdrawals are less than the interest that you've earned on that money. Make sense so far? So, since you're withdrawing interest only, the principal remains intact. Does that make sense? So when we're talking about having enough money until you retire, that's pretty much what we're talking about. And we were talking one of these episodes before that you want that money to last until you are 100 years old. Now, I know you just sucked wind. I know you did. But say that you retire at 65, just picking numbers out of the air. So that money has to last you 35 years. And what I just showed you is how that works. So you'd be taking interest initially for decades. At some point, you will be accessing the principal, but that's going to be farther down the road. So that's what it means, the 4% rule. And I'm hopeful I've made it simple enough to kind of get it. And if you have questions, please write in and ask them or share information. Because remember, I don't have a CPA, okay? I went to the School of Hard Knocks, and what I'm sharing with you is what I've managed to pick up, to extract from different sources to kind of understand money. You know, the only thing I could do, because I don't have that $500,000, and so most money managers won't speak to me. You know, there's not enough in it for them, so they won't. So you just accept it, move on. That's just how it goes, right? Then the other thing I was just kind of playing with. So we've talked about this before. The earlier that you start to contribute to your retirement account, the better. Now, I'm going to stop myself right there. Have you gone to your HR department and set up your retirement account? Because remember, many companies, well, if you are contributing to the account, and they'll tell you at what percentage rate you need to contribute to get this next part, a matching contribution from the employer. Double check with them what that looks like. First of all, do they do it, and how do they go about it? So if you're not taking advantage of it, you are leaving money on the table. Stop it. Get that money. Okay? So then I was just kind of playing around here. Then I said, if I was in my 20s and I put away $10,000 a year for 40 years, that same 5% that we mentioned, that person would have a balance of about $1.2 million. That's why the earlier you start, the better. Although, you can still make it work at whatever age you are at, but the earlier, the better. Now, if you're looking at that and going, Yvonne, I can't afford $10,000. Okay, I totally understand. Been there. So then I said, well, what if I just contribute $5,000 a year for the same 40 years? And that comes up to $604,000. That's not bad at all. That's a great way to start. So just, hopefully you can contribute more, but just know if you're staying back and not contributing because you're afraid you can't afford it, well, then lower the amount until you can afford it, then build up from there. Okay? So then I said, if I was in my 30s and I put away $20,000 for 30 years, and remember, 30s, you have less time, presumably, to put money into the account. So I just said 30 years. What if we did that? That same $20,000, earning 5%, would be $1.3 million. Not bad, right? Not bad at all. Say I'm in my 40s and I'm putting away that same $20,000 and earning at least 5%. Then I could collect over those 20 years, 661,000. That's how you create income for yourself in retirement. And keep in mind, this is what you are putting away. There will be Social Security in some form. We don't know exactly what it's going to look like, but there will be something. So between Social Security and what you've saved for yourself, this is how you have a successful retirement. So just something to think about. I'm just hopeful that you will move forward and take care of yourself and just do what you need to do. And like I said, talk to this community because we've all been there in some way or another. So just do what you can and then, share your successes or your struggles with us and see if we can't help you get through them. Okay? Now, what I'd like to there was one other thing before I wrap it up. Another thing that I was reading is young people looking at their boomer parents and thinking, okay, this is what I can expect to receive once my parents pass. And I'm hopeful you are not doing that. I'm just hopeful because quite truthfully, the money your parents are putting away is for them. Now, if there's anything left, okay, it's nice of them to share, but we shouldn't count on it. So just make sure you do what you can for yourself because you never know. I've never asked my mom, okay, how much are you leaving us? No, I'm hopeful that the money she saved, she is enjoying her retirement. She has earned it. So just some thoughts, just my personal thoughts, my personal opinions, throwing it out there. So with that, we are going to begin to wrap this up. And at the beginning of this, if you're joining us for the first time and you've enjoyed what you're seeing, then by all means, please join the community. You see where it says subscribe? Just follow that link. And when I produce these, they will come straight into your mailbox. So you could read them, you can save them, you can share them. All those things I hope that you do. And just if you have any questions, just please let us know. We'd love to have a conversation with you because there are times when my subscribers reach out to me and they'll ask really good questions, by the way. And so I share them here. Of course, names and everything are changed to protect the innocent. Know that what you tell me, nobody's going to know you told me. We're just going to share with the community in case it's something that they can use. Okay? Now with that, I want to say thank you for joining me once again for Get Your Money Right with Yvonne. I'm just grateful to have you. And so please be good to yourselves, be good to others, because as I said, we're in this together. So be good to other people. and take care. And we'll see you next time, okay? You take care. Bye.